If more of you supported the show, I'd be less sick of podcasts.
The blah blah blah.
Sending out good vibes.
The blah blah blah.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
The blah blah blah.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
108 breaths of deep gratitude and prayers for guidance and protection. And put on a didgeridoo and shamanic drumming track. Shivers or vibrations and stuff like that.
America. Okay, guys, welcome back to the Grimerica Show. Coming at you this week with George Howard, friend of the show and listener of the show, George Howard, the Cosmic Tusk, right?
Cosmic Summit. Well, yeah, from Cosmic Tusk.
That's how I know him originally, though. I swear, like, we followed each other on Twitter, and he was the Cosmic Tusk, like, for years and years and years and years.
Yeah. CosmicTusk.com.
When he followed us back in the day, because he was like a big account for us when we were a fledgling show. So
yeah, exactly.
Exciting stuff. And we got everybody's favorite podcaster, Grimerica Dunlop, who will be doing a panel showcase in the classroom setting at said Cosmic Summit for George Howard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do it on it. It's going to be like an Atlantis debate. So what?
You must be nervous as shit.
Well, not really. I'm just sort of trying to.
Yeah, on Sunday.
I'm just trying to be like, I had to do presentations for the board and stuff in my old job, and like I used to have to do that kind of stuff. So I think I can get over it and I just have to enjoy it. Like really, just be present and enjoy it, and I think it'll be fine.
Is this feeling like higher pressure or lower pressure than like a board presentation for work?
In some ways, lower. Yeah.
I would think higher because everybody wants to be there instead of has to be there.
Wants to be where? Here?
Yeah, board meeting, there's plenty of people who don't give a fuck what they say.
Oh, yeah. No. This is, when you're
like, you're going to be a bunch of enough people that were willing to pay a lot of money to go to hear people talk about Atlantis.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to make you nervous. I think you'll do great. You've read all the books out loud, which I think counts for even more.
Well, that's the problem though, is like, I do research. Yeah. But I mean, I've just talked to a lot of people on the podcast, read a lot of the books, but I'm putting together my high level theory view into a presentation just in case. And we're doing we're meeting this at the end of this week with the panel people and the Cosmic Summit organizers and stuff to go over it. But it's going to be fun because it's a topic that we're into lately because we've got this trip coming up in the Azores, which is I think sold out now with Randall
left.
And I mean, I'm getting a lot of my information from Randall's work, Randall's presentations on Atlantis, and I'm going through some transcripts and I've been reading all these old books and stuff. Sorry, how many left?
There's one ticket left.
One ticket left. Wow, that's great. Okay, so
and you can go back out.
Someone backed out. But I just want to talk about George for a sec here too. So he was from the Cosmic Tusk. I mean, he's been collaborating with dozens of credentialed scientists from around the world. Like this is past, right? With the Comet Research Group and all that. That's how him and Randall are connected. So he's got his foot in both sides, right? And that's what this paradigm. Oh my God, this Cosmic Summit is kind of like that, right? It's got some, scientists and then some people pushing back from sort of more of this alternative perspective. And, CosmicSummit.com is the website. CosmicTusk.com is his website personally, but the conference website is that the world's #1 heterodox history gathering at the Curry Convention Center, Greensboro, June 20th to 23rd, 2025. So honestly, there's lots of work. Man, there's going to be tons of people that we know, lots of friends hanging out. We're going to party there. Darren's coming and Shauna. And it's going to be a blast. Go to if you buy the tickets, Grimerica 25 gives you a 10% discount. And then we get a little bit of a bump from that. And it's going to be a blast.
It should be good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm flying into Tennessee to see Nicky the Dude, and who I just got to spend a week with. So we're gonna go see him in Nashville and do a little road trip for a couple
Nice.
days. Spend
That's
a couple
awesome.
days driving over through Tennessee and North Carolina. I don't think you hit any other states in there, right? It's probably just them two.
You're
Because
asking.
Tennessee is practically in not Kentucky, Alabama. Tennessee's practically in Alabama. I think it's only like an hour and a half from Huntsville, Alabama. So you got to head north and then head east. It's about a 7.5 hour drive. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know.
It's directly, so Tennessee is, it's directly west of North Carolina. Like the two parallel lines there, the border is two parallel lines here. So if where are you flying into? Nashville?
Nashville.
Yeah. So you're going,
I can get a direct flight.
oh, look at that. You're almost exactly level with Greensboro. So you're basically just driving east.
I could have probably got a direct flight to Atlanta as well, but then it was also a drive. And I've never been to, I don't know this. I've never been to Nashville. So it seems fitting to go and visit the dude and have him drive me over there since he's,
that's great. Yeah.
of course, all over the place. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And I mean, Nashville's kind of on the bucket list of cities to get to, I suppose. Take the wife out for dinner someplace.
Yeah.
I've never been there. I heard it's kind of like Vegasified these days.
Yeah. I've heard some sort of negative things about it too, but
which I could see. But
yeah, all the cities are sort of struggling with these.
Yeah,
identity.
Tennessee's got to be awesome though.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to checking that out. So let us know if you're not going to Cosmic Summit, or maybe if you're down around that area. Maybe we can meet up.
I want to mention George's YouTube channel too. He does host a podcast over there now and then, and it's at Cosmic Summit, and there's links to that and the summit and the Tusk all in the show notes here. So how was your trip?
It was good.
You were saving a story for the intro. Oh yeah, if you want to skip ahead, there's a timestamp in the show notes. So,
well, Randall's just getting recognized more and more. I think he mentioned he got recognized by 2 or 3 people on the plane, and then so a couple times on the tour, we went to the Shoshone ice caves. He got recognized there by the lady.
really?
She was a fan, but because her dad's watching it all the time. And then, a few people throughout, and then some kids at the gas station. Randall was walking up behind some kid who had this like sacred geometry hoodie on. I don't know if it's a sacred geometry hoodie, but it had all these geometric shapes on the back of it. So Randall's walking in the store behind him, and he's like, "Nice patterns, kid." And the kid turns around and he's like, "Randall Carlson." So,
That's awesome.
him and all his little buddies were all excited.
That's awesome. Oh my God. Imagine you got Randall Carlson commenting on your patterns on your jacket, your geometrical patterns on your jacket, and he recognizes him. That's pretty cool.
He's definitely getting more and more notoriety out there.
Yeah, that's good.
For sure. So
Good,
that's
yeah.
good. We had a good time. This was a good one for me because, I mean, I do hate hauling that trailer all over the place. We get into some situations, we're always going to crazy places, and you never know if there's enough room. Luckily, the trailer's light enough that I could take it off, and like 3 or 4 of us could spin it around if we had to.
Wow.
But, this one's the 1 and the 1, 2, 2. So it's a lot of hotel jumping. It's a lot of loading bags in the morning and unloading them at night. So you're glad to have that done with. But it was a great trip. It was great because I got to see, this was a new one for me. Some of these trips we've done several times. So you're going to the same places. It's still great, but it's always extra exciting when you're going to a bunch of new places you've never been before.
And it seemed very awesome geology wise and terrain wise. Like it almost seemed like it was as good as the Scablands as far as like,
there's some
sites and
amazing river valleys. Real amazing river canyons, I guess. So yeah, we got to see a bunch of them, like maybe four or five little. I mean, Twin Falls is just like perched right on the edge of a few 100-foot rim of a river canyon.
Wow.
It's something else. Yeah, Shauna was looking at all the different hikes around there. There's just hikes everywhere. It's really quite a beautiful location.
Would you go back there on your own with Shauna? Maybe like
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it could happen. I mean, there's
it's
lots
not
of
too
places.
far of a drive down, is it? Or
Well, it's got to be 10 hours.
10 hours? Yeah.
Yeah, you'd sooner go to Yellowstone or something if you're heading down. Or, I mean, California is always top of the list just because of those redwood trees.
Yeah.
There's something about camping in the redwoods
Yeah.
that's pretty magical. I mean, we don't tend to travel to cities. That's the thing. We don't tend to, like, even Nashville is sort of the exception. And the only reason we'd be going there is because we're looking to get the fuck out of there, usually.
Yeah. So what about the caves? How was that?
Caves are cool. So there's a bunch of ice down in the bottom. It's like some natural sort of dynamics down there make it super cold. So as soon as you go in the cave, it's like -5.
Wow. I was wondering why I saw everybody bundled up.
There's like solid ice. Solid ice, 14 feet thick in some spots.
Wow. An
I guess
awesome
it was
group of people too, or
It was a gig back in the day. They were selling ice.
what about global warming? It's ice is still there.
I don't know how that works. That's not. Yeah, it was a great group of people. And of course, we went to a couple places Randall's never been before. We went to the Teton Dam site where that had failed and got a presentation from a local historian on that. All in all, it was a great trip. It was. Everyone seemed to be pretty happy. We did get kicked out of the conference room on the last day before we could do the moon presentation, which was, I'm sure, quite disappointing. Randall was like literally queuing up the moon presentation. He's got some new stuff. He was showing me the pictures of the roof of Dendera Temple that Kyle, all these pictures, high def pictures Kyle and Russ have been taking for him. But then there's just too many beers and stuff out and about. We had been told already not to drink in the conference room, which, in our defense, has never happened before. We've sort of done 15 events now in like 4 different states, and we've never had a conference room tell us we couldn't drink alcohol in there. I mean, I'm still arguing with about. I was emailing the lady today, and I was like, I still don't think this is true. I think you guys are misinterpreting something, because she's like, Idaho this, Idaho that, and I was like, well, I was at like a Hilton in Idaho 2 nights or 3 nights ago, and they let us do it. And I was at a Hamptons in Idaho for the last 2 nights, and they let us do it.
Yeah, and it's not like you're getting getting shit canned either. It's pretty chill. It's not like you're not there for the alcohol. It's just a couple drinks after dinner while you watch Randall's presentation. Like,
yeah, exactly. We're a pretty low key bunch.
Yeah, so he didn't get to present the moon.
Didn't get to present the moon, which is always a letdown. But I mean, imagine being the guy who has to go in and tell these people that.
Yeah,
they're all getting excited. That guy's me.
Yeah, and what? Oh my god!
Everyone thought I was joking for a minute.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. We're kicked out. You're like, no, seriously, we have to leave. So what'd you guys do then?
I mean, it was already late on the last night, so I think some people probably went back to some hotel rooms and partied or did this or that. But I just went. I mean, this was I think they kicked us out at like 9:15 and said we had to be out by 9:40 or something like that. So it's like, and the first van was leaving at 4 a.m. and then the next van was leaving at 7. All the rest of the rest of the vans were leaving at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So people had to be up and packing by 6:30 at the latest.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
So some people didn't even know we got kicked out because they had already gone to bed for the evening. But what can you do?
Maybe good to have a suite, and just in case they just pile into a suite.
It'd never be big. It'd never be big enough. Like it doesn't seem big till you get all 40 people together, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But it's a lesson learned. Now that's a question I'll directly ask when I'm booking hotels.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to consume alcohol in there?
Yeah.
It's not even so bad if we have to buy it from them. I don't think anybody would really care about that. It's just
It's not really the main focus on those
it's
trips.
that everyone just wants to. It's not the main focus, but at the same time, it's also everyone's holiday, and a lot of people are going to have a couple of beers or a couple of glasses of wine. No one's getting wasted.
Yeah.
Really. So anyway, we got in trouble. I mean, it's the second time technically. We had trouble at a Marriott before as well, but their concerns were probably likely a little more justified, although they were a little passive aggressive about how they carried it out. Those people, they were carrying on in the conference room, after quiet hour, after we had been warned. Which again has been something we haven't had a problem with. Usually, what happens is when we book the conference room, they put and block a room. So I book a conference room in 25 rooms. Usually, they insulate the conference room with our rooms. So if you're disturbing anyone, it's your own group. But anyway, we had trouble with that one Marriott, and I mean then we went to Best Westerns, but Best Westerns just sort of refused to give us any recognition for the fact of all the business we were bringing along. And honestly, now to go to Hamptons and Hiltons, it's a step up that I think all the attendees appreciate as well. There's just some, I mean, Hamptons aren't great, but they still carry the name. The rooms are nice. The rooms, the beds and the beds and shit are always nice. It's just you can kind of tell when they've refurbished one.
Yeah, totally.
The Hiltons are a little stuffy for our crowd.
Yeah.
You can tell everyone's a little,
Was the Marriott, are you talking about the Marriott that was in Montana that you got?
Missoula, Montana.
Missoula? Yeah.
They threatened to kick us out, not even just out of the conference room. They were going to be like, we're kicking all you guys out of here.
And I mean, I have my own theory on why that is. You guys were a little too freedom orientated. That was back in the COVID days where when you wore a "Don't Tread on Me" thing, people are like, what is going on with this racist freedom advocate? Free speech is bad. Freedom is bad. Go back in and get your jab and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, could be. Could be. Can't rule it out. But all in all, it was a good trip. It was good to get out. Travel was easy. No trouble either way. I mean, Shauna would disagree. She had a little trouble with the turbulence on the way home.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I mean,
fear-wise or health-wise?
Fear-wise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were shaking around pretty good, and there was a storm coming in.
Did they announce it or?
This whole time we were waiting for the plane, you could see this storm blowing in over the mountain.
and then
they're like, buckle up, folks. It's going to get bumpy.
And then what's going on through your head?
I was asleep.
And
I was asleep for most of it.
What if you were awake? Would you be like, this is the competency crisis coming into play, or would you just not give
Nah, I've already checked out the pilots by this point. I get to look at pilots on the way in.
No, I wasn't getting into that. Just the competency, more so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever. I just feel like the odds are in my favor.
Exactly. And just surrender to the plane travel still being way safer than driving to the airport.
I get more nervous driving around with all those van loads of people on the freeway than I do on the plane.
Yeah.
So, but God looks over us, I guess. We haven't had any sort of touch wood. We haven't had any trouble or anything like that on any of the tours. I mean, Nikki the Dude and I did hit each other once. But other than that was just a little fender bender in the parking lot.
With the vans?
Well, I was in my truck backing up because I thought all the vans were gone, but he was still there. And instead of just honking his horn so I would know, he yelled, I guess, pretty loudly. But I couldn't hear him. So I just scuffed up the van a little bit. We always get the insurance, so we're good. But when I claimed it for my truck, it was like $11,000. They replaced both doors.
Wow.
Because it did that scrape up the side sort of thing. What you can do. I don't have that truck anymore now.
Did I tell you about? I told you about the old guy backing into me on the main street of our little town, eh?
Oh yeah, you did. Whatever happened with that? No damage.
Yeah, there's damage, but we ended up just eating it. I mean, his daughter called and started making up a big story about, oh, you bumped into him. I'm like, look, we did not do that. It's just gross, right? It's just disgusting because he was old and he had cancer or something like that. So I'm like, she was just arguing with us right away, and so we just dropped it. I mean, he was gonna buy a new, but you got to somebody's got to either let the damage just sit there or just buy a new bumper, right? And a new bumper is like what, $700-800.
What was it in?
It's in the Jeep, and and the guys. So they've got new parking, right? The diagonal parking in the main street, like they redid the main street, so it's got all the diagonal parking. So I turn left and go by him, right? Or sorry, he goes by. I turn left, and I gave him like literally 40 feet, maybe 30 feet, way back. I'm not in any rush, never in a rush, right? Just waiting. He stops in the middle of the road, and then he starts backing up. And I'm like, there's lots of room. I'm like, oh, he's going to stop any moment, and he's not stopping. I'm like, he's got to stop, right? I mean, he's got to see me there, right? I mean, so then I start honking, and I put it in reverse, and I back up, and I couldn't back up fast enough, and he just, boom, banged into me. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and all that. And then just to have his daughter call after I had like done all the research, like, look, we need a new bumper. And to have his daughter call and start making up lies. I'm like, I don't even want to deal with these assholes. If you're going to start making up lies and pretend that I hit your grandpa or your dad, like, fuck off, So we'll just eat it. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight crazy people like that in town right now. Honestly, it's not worth it.
How many people in your town? Do you see these people around?
2,500, maybe 1,800 to 2,500.
You're going to bump into them.
Yeah. I just don't think it's just not worth it, right? Over something like that. Like, look, if you're gonna be like that, then I'm not even gonna deal with you. I'll just eat it, and hopefully your father's okay with his cancer and all that stuff. She gave me a big sob story.
You think they don't have insurance?
Oh, they did. I mean, I was gonna go through I was trying to help them and not go through insurance, right? You want me to go through insurance? I could go to the cop. I could file a report and go through insurance if you want. That's gonna be worse than the 700, right? I mean, so my offer to buy, I was even going to buy a cheaper aftermarket bumper and just change the style of the bumper and everything.
It's kind of sad that a Jeep can't just be backed into it without needing a new bumper in 2020s.
I know.
I feel like they should be like,
it doesn't need a new bumper. It's just scratched, right? It's scratched. And there's no way to fix it. So you make a bumper that you can't even fix. I guess that's what you're saying, right? Is it's made out of this weird rubbery plastic stuff that just gets beat up and you can't even fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Can't do shit. So anyway, I'm just checking the record. I have so many pictures from last week, but I don't think, oh no, that's not true. I do have, from our buddy Mike Frisch, who's got to be close to being a lord. I mean, let us know, but he's been supporting all over the place lately. I can't remember if I'm saying his name right. I think he already corrected me once.
I'm not sure.
He sent us $133.69.
Thanks, Mike. That's amazing. Thank you, Lord Mike. We appreciate it.
And he says, keep up the good work, guys. Any chance of getting Stuart Hammerhoff or Eric Wargo back on the show? They were some of my favorite guests.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
wow, I remember.
Enough, I had actually recently emailed Eric Wargo to come back on the show. I haven't.
No way. You did?
Yeah.
Holy.
But I did email him. And then we had, I think it's Kyle. Is it Kyle? Uh-oh, I cut it off too soon. But I think it's Kyle. Kyle Clark. Maybe from Edmonton, who canceled their $7 a month subscription and bumped it up to $15 a month.
Oh, thanks, buddy. That's awesome. Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And
thank you, Lord Kyle.
Yeah, that's right. And we did that one already. So then we also got some books at the P.O. box from Alan Paul Roberts that we had on the on the recent show.
Yeah.
His books, The Globalist Plan to Collapse Everything to Usher in the New World Order. I think there's another book there. Oh, yeah. We already talked about that book, the Trevor Lohman one, right?
Yeah, Trevor's coming back on the show too. That's the other guy I got to talk to you about booking. So we're probably gonna have some extra shows coming up too. It's getting
bonus apps coming out. Gramerica.ca/support. And like I said, we just had that fantastic tour. Contacted thecabin.com. We got some good events coming up. We got, there's apparently right now one spot left for the Azores Search for Atlantis with Randall Carlson, which is almost 2 weeks long, all inclusive, island hopping around 3 islands. It's going to be a time. And then we have our Easter Island event coming up, which is March 20th to 28th of next year, going from Santiago, Chile to Easter Island for a week and coming back. So that's going to be a time. Check that out. Contact at thecabin.com.
Also, there's one spot available for a free live stream of Cosmic Summit. Just email me and I will reply and ask you for some details, and we'll get you a free live stream of the Cosmic Summit. So all weekend, free live streaming, because they live stream everything. It was super professionally done, the whole thing.
Now, will this include your portion?
I don't know if they have choices, because there's different classrooms going on at the same time. So, I'm not sure.
So you don't think they just live stream all that?
Yeah, they might, but I don't know how you choose. You might have to choose one or the other. I don't know if you can flip back and forth to all of them.
Oh, interesting. I would be interested in how they.
I don't know how they logistically do that. I think you probably have to pick one. I don't think there's different channels, that you can go, oh, here's the classroom on sacred geometry. Here's the classroom on Atlantis. Here's the other one. I mean, I should probably talk about what those classrooms are. Cosmic Summit experience. Let's see here. Atlantis. The cat is in the way. There's a pre-dynastic vase experience too. Get your past classroom day. I will go to classroom day now and see interactive sessions in an intimate setting. Access your favorite speaker like never before. Classroom day. So where is it? Atlantis, ancient Egypt with Ben and Yusuf. That's pretty cool. Breakthrough technology with Bob Greenier and Ashton Forbes. Those are all the morning ones, and then there's in the afternoon there's sacred geometry, the Knights Templar, and the Yiddish story. The younger Dryas impact hypothesis story.
Those are two very different things.
Yeah.
You said Yiddish, I thought of Jews.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway. Okay, great. CosmicSummit.com. Code Gramerica25. Support the show, Gramerica.ca/support. These people support us. We need you to support us because we keep doing this show and it costs us a lot of time and effort. And we need to get some value sent back our way. Time, talent, and treasure, as the No Agenda guys say, So let us know. Sign up for monthly, make a one-time donation. We'd be super grateful. Come to the trips, buy the audiobooks. Couple new audiobooks coming out this week on adultbrain.ca, the podcast. Check out other podcasts too, the alist.ca, where we get into the Canadian stuff. Their YouTube, they approved our monetization over there. So you can go over there and super chat us.
Yeah, super chat us. Yeah.
Not on Gramerica. Maybe soon. They let us reapply. So they'll tell us whether or not we are acceptable content yet or not. We'll see if the pendulum has got back to us being monetizable.
Yeah, we'll see if it swung that far back.
Podcast is only you guys. So Gramerica.ca/support if you can, when you can. Check out contact at thecabin.com for trips and events, adultbrain.ca for audiobooks, and of course GramericaCBD.com. We got a bunch of people at the event, got to get into the gummies and stuff. We had some tinctures. I haven't heard back on the tinctures yet, but I know some people had a blast on those 5 milligram gummies. So check that out. GramericaCBD.com. Yeah, is that it? Should we get out of
I
here?
think that's it. Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, guys. Enjoy the chat with the one and only George Howard, and hopefully we'll see you at the Cosmic Summit.
Is when you finally give up, and you guys gave up a long time ago, but you just say, okay, can I turn it on and just talk continuously for some sufficient amount of time? And I've been doing that the last week.
Wow.
And it's funny for something that makes you uneasy. And the guys I work with, like Beckett Fusett, have been saying from the beginning, George, just turn the thing on, start talking.
Oh yeah,
Not that I'm any great person.
We're not, dude. We're not like that though. I mean, we're trying. We were just interviewing people for 10 years.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know that.
So now,
yeah,
it's different than like what you can do, or you can just like turn it on live and start talking, right?
But y'all been live a lot. Well, I've been doing this a week, but you've been coming on live for at least a few years, right?
Yeah. We did. Yeah. But it's
got to be 1,000 live shows, I think, now almost between.
Okay. Well, to our point, are we live?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay.
George Howard, welcome to Grime America.
Man, it's awesome to be here. It really is. I look forward to talking with you.
Yeah, the creator of Cosmic Summit 2025, the world's #1 heterodox history gathering. We're going to talk about that, of course, and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, yeah, it's going good. I watched that. We'll talk about the video you recommended. I watched it. I did with the guys from Italy and the pyramid stuff. So congratulations on making an episode out of that. And they're coming to the summit too. So that should be interesting.
Man,
the geopolymer Italians?
No. These are the Khafre scan project. The guys who actually pointed the satellite at the pyramids and said that they found vast chambers and structures and whatnot.
What's your take on that?
Oh God. How
because
long
I got it from sort of both sides.
Can I rant?
People I really respect, right? On the one side, I got guys like the ethical skeptic and guys like this saying like, nah, these are good scans. And then, but the Snake Bros and Ben seem to come from the other side and they seem to be pushing back on it.
Well, when you're a promoter, you're not going to name names. Because we got
you don't want to name.
But I know not name names. And listen, no, there's so many people are if you want to call it sides or whatever. There's so many different opinions that no one is unique. There are sets of opinions, and I can I rant?
Yeah,
Snake Brothers used to let me rant. Yeah,
you can rant, of course.
No, I just the thing has kind of upset me. Not terribly. Where should I come from on it? Okay, so I was going up to this kind of neat context when it was breaking, and they had that press conference. Me and Beckett Fusett, who works with me on the social media, went up to New York to see Adam Young, and he's doing the vases, right? And we were going to go to the Metropolitan Museum, and then we had a thing with him at the Beekman Hotel that is a Cosmic Summit ticket from our little company. And we had about 50 or 60 people manhandle the vases, not literally, but, come and spend time with them and then hear a lecture from Adam. And we had that live streamed and whatnot. Okay. So in that context, which was kind of very Egyptian-y, boom, this thing happens, but I'm out of town. I mean, in our world, normally nobody would care, but things move quick. And when you're you kind of want to take advantage. I'm like, holy cow, there's some great new mystery with the pyramids. And that's a central subject to the Cosmic Summit, and it's in less than 90 days. So this is good. I want people to be interested in these subjects. So I start out, that's my first stop. I'm not thinking, is it true? Is it not true? I mean, it's like, okay, good. More interest, the better. All press is good press. And these are obscure subjects. We forget that sometimes. It's still not something most people think about. And if you can get them to think about it even if they think somebody's a fraud or something or whatever, I think it's good. So I get excited when there's attention like that. Other people feel like, they're now being looked to make a determination whether it's true or not. So they'll go out and talk to their millions of followers, and believe me, there are plenty of them. And then and go out and make some type of pronouncement about what they think, which I guess is fair enough. But my God, do it properly and responsibly. And I've seen people that just hadn't read any of the stuff. I mean, done the 5-minute Google. And there's some very obvious facts that now I've come to know, to cut to the chase, for Dr. Filippo Biondi and Dr. Armando May, and I believe Corrado Malaga, or maybe two wives, are coming to Greensboro. And at 1:30 on Saturday, the 21st, after lunch, we're going to have them on the main stage for an hour and a half, hosted by Jay Anderson of Project Unity. That's right. Who was the first podcast with them.
Awesome. Yeah. Looking forward to meeting Jay. Yeah.
So do I, man. And I'm already glad to get to know him through text and talk and whatnot. He's just a great guy. He's a great communicator. And he's smart, and he's on the cutting edge of all sorts of stuff. And he's got an incredible Rolodex, and we're proud to have him come to the Cosmic Summit as a featured guest, just like y'all are. Well, you're kind of a speaker, Graham, because you're on a panel.
Well, just a little panel. I mean, I'm just going to be on there. I'm not going to say anything.
You never tell what we're going to go nuts out on social media or after it's posted, right? So yeah, everything's same size until 1 million people have to watch that Atlantis panel, because it was so funny and fun and informed. Because that will be a well-informed group.
I will get over my fears and try my hardest and my best. I will do my best.
Did you get anxious doing public speaking?
Well,
in other words, on a stage?
It's going to be interesting, because I might be speaking out of turn, but since we've started the show, it's definitely the biggest stage he's going to be on.
That is so interesting.
No, we're just in in one of the side rooms on the panel, right? We're not on the main stage or anything.
No, those are big side rooms. I mean, 250 people.
Yeah, that's true too.
250 people. Yeah.
Oh, and it's being live streamed. So hopefully add in thousands of more.
Yeah.
And everybody, please know that the live stream is available to everybody. It's $75. And if enough people paid that $75, I could lower the other prices. I mean, this whole thing is such an economic nightmare, and I don't want to get into that.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many other fun things.
We never got into it, honestly. I mean, the paradigm shut down, and we were big fans of that. I mean, when we
that's right. Y'all had a toe in it. That's how your damn podcast started.
Yeah, well, yeah, we went to the paradigm, and then we started the podcast, and then we were the 2014. We had a booth and all that, which sort of helped us thing. And then the paradigm went to shit. And actually, I should say shout out to Scotty Roberts. I know he's in the hospital getting an operation, so hopefully he bounces back from that. Okay. But that went to shit, and we were talking about wanting to do events with Randall and our own stuff, and we were kind of talking about how we wanted to have a sort of paradigm swing to it. And the way we ended up doing it was the way we could figure out. It was sort of a niche where we go to location, but it's also just like,
what do you mean there?
We go, like, when we do our events, we'll do, like, we're going to Easter Island. They're more like adventure,
But that's modern times. I'm interested in your pivot, because it was more intelligent decision after getting in the event business. You were in the event business, and then you said, well, let's just talk about these.
That's just how we started. We started on location.
But at the same time, you said, I don't want to do events.
It's because the financial, we looked at how financially insane it was to try and do a paradigm thing, like not insane, but just challenging, paying the guests, paying everybody to get there, and then trying to sell the tickets and getting everybody there. Cause yours is very much paradigm-ish as far as like, the guests don't just come and leave right away. They hang around, they mingle with people. Like, it's like,
which is great. Which you're providing a great product. It's just making it.
That's great, but it's just hard to make it financially. We just saw as that collapsed, we thought,
and we weren't.
We want to risk that, right?
We weren't involved.
What's that?
We weren't involved in the paradigm directly, but we were like close enough to it to see that the finances
Gotcha.
were a huge stress point, and that it was a huge problem year after year.
I don't know whether this is making me feel better or worse.
Well, I don't know.
There's still time to buy passes, and they're actually selling like fucking. They're selling them better than last year, which is kind of hopeful because definitely lost money last year, lost money the first year. You can't lose money 4 years.
No, exactly.
And I ain't trying to, decision, but boy, I tell you, it's a tough thing. But so we went up to New York to film this thing and to film Adam and then do a live thing because that might be our pivot. Like, in fact, I'll tell you now, we're going to go up with Randall to the Beekman Hotel on September 20th of this year, 3 months after the summer.
You stole my weekend, you bastard. I was trying to do something with Randall that same weekend, and he's like, I'm booked up.
Well, that's good that it's kind of, that helps confirm it for me because I've only heard secondhand that that he is definitely coming. Or I brought it up with him and then he had to look and all that. Okay, well, we got him good. And he wants to go to New York. And I think it would be first of all, the venue was incredible. And if you do it smaller, you can do it things. I like to do things kind of fancy, or at least as fancy as I can. And the Cosmic Summit's got 6 meals, it's home cooking. It's not fancy food. Well, it is kind of nice, but whatever, try to do it right. I want all those factors in there, some free liquor, that kind of stuff. And what's my point here? Oh, you can do that for a room of 100 people and maybe pull it off. The problem is you only have one camera. What screws us up is we have to have 3 live stream camera setups to film 27 speakers over 2 days. There's just no way you can't work it out. You wouldn't be filming somebody, or you wouldn't be live streaming. And without getting way too far in the weeds, that drives about $100,000 right there. And we have tried to beat that out of it various ways. Should have crowdsourced it and just said, is there anybody that can wave a wand and just for free? You would think it'd be easy in this environment these days to have a camera set up, but then you say, well, where are they standing on? They got to stand on stage. Well, who's going to do the backdrop? Blah, blah, blah. Where's the lighting guy? How are you sure the sound is going to work? And you're like, then if you got all this other money going into other parts of it, you don't want it to come out shitty. So you raise all the boats, and that's the Summit's personal problem, is how to cut that AV cost out. And there's some other ones, big ones, but that'd make it float. But we'll figure it out. If you went and did these small things, that could be fun. I just would hate to sacrifice some of it, And social media income. If our social media continued to grow and actually paid like it seemed to at the first, even though we had far less viewers, that could offset it. I'd be happy to run it as a loss every year and fill what period is lost. Don't even have to make money for years as a loss if the social media filled it back in. So you lose money on the event, and then it would generate income. That'd be a neat model. And that's the most hopeful view of what could happen over the next year, is that we release the content from this year and we wait 3 or 4 months, and I encourage people, don't let that keep you from coming to the thing. Cause whatever, for obvious reasons, it's more fun to come see it and see it live too, than to wait 3 or 4 months. That's my point. If this stuff comes out and it does really well on social media, maybe that dynamic will start.
Right.
Because we're getting a lot of views to Cosmic Summit. That's been the fun part. I mean, it's millions and millions. I mean, I never really thought. I mean, I'm an original tech guy. I have a friend making fun of me frequently about it now. She's a tech guy, but I am a tech guy, kind of. And but I never thought I would have some kind of social media thing. I mean, I used to do this blog for years and always impressed, get 50,000 views a month. I was really used to that. And then Cosmic Summit for 2 years got 50,000 views a month because we put out 3 videos a day, every day. Every Monday, literally every day. And when I signed the contract with Beckett, I said, there's no way this young man is going to pull this off. And for the next 3 months, which is only a 3-month thing, give me 3 videos a day. So we'll probably have to recalibrate. I'll probably like the service, but there's just, let's put a true number in there. No, man, 2 years of 3 videos a day. And if you do that and throw in the long form from the summit, the algorithms like it. And it's a damn interesting subject. And they've got good shorts team and all that, which is a lot of the game now. So we've got Facebook just ran ahead of YouTube. It was like first it was watching Instagram, and then Watch Me Dig, you got popular YouTube and got up to 140,000 subscribers. See, I've got my play button.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, good job.
Yeah. Got it in January, then got another 35,000 subscribers, and then it just went like flatlining.
Yeah,
All of our stuff just dropped to like 20% on.
It'll pick back up though. YouTube.
Y'all seen some of that? Yeah, I know, man. But this one's tough to watch. But I hadn't been in the game a full year yet since things have gone viral. Because then we went viral. Okay, so then we're getting about 50,000 views of Beckett stuff for almost 2 years a month. And I'm like, well, that's good. That means you're getting your brand out. And I'm trying to have this event. It's not all about the social media, but I got a professional face on it, right? And then we had one go viral on July 4th after the summit last year. And then it just went ape shit on YouTube for months and months and months. And then when it died away, to soothe you as things do sometimes, Facebook went ape shit. And it's continuing to get 1,000 followers a day.
Wow.
Not to brag, but this is not me. This is a movement, right? Or at least one reflection of a movement. 1,000 other people a day, that's a lot day in, day out. And it's up to like 220,000.
Yeah,
Facebook
and then YouTube will hit like you'll just have another YouTube video the algo will hit again, and then that same sort of scenario will play out again. I mean, we haven't had a lot of success on YouTube, but from the people I've talked to, it's like it kind of goes in spurts like that. It's not like all your videos keep growing. It's like they all sort of sit there, and then you have, your 1 in every 100 videos really takes off, and that just makes it a swath of people which is kind of we've noticed. We do have a Canadian political channel that does all right, and an audiobook channel that does all right. And we had the same thing where we published.
I've always wanted to do an audiobook collaboration of some sort with y'all. We've talked about it several times. There's so many great opportunities for books that aren't audio yet in our subjects.
When we started that, we were getting I think our first month, we really started going hard. We made like $1,000 and we were like, oh man, this is a great new revenue source. And then it just went same thing.
That's right. Because was it controlled by algorithms one way or another?
Yeah.
What you're getting paid, what they're paying per minute or whatever.
Yeah, and then the views just fell off too. It's like you just need to. It's hard to know what's going on. I don't even think YouTube really knows what the fuck.
Well, and it doesn't even. It's not even them that gets controlled by algos. There's other things that shouldn't be controlled by algos, and you wonder how they're going up and down. I mean, there's.
Well,
I don't want to get into the weeds on that.
Of it. I find it it's more fascinating when it's hot, but when it's really cooking on YouTube, which has the better interface, the Meta. I don't know. It's not as much fun to check the things, but I tell you, you can go in YouTube and it's incredible all the things you can play with on that damn dashboard. If you're getting millions of views, I mean, that's deep data. And then it fascinates me the fact that I'm developing some kind of deep data. It's mine, just kind of cool. And it's millions. It's got to be useful, and really figured out how to monetize it. But it's, because we've gotten everybody. I mean, I don't want to creep people out, but we've had a professional vacuum on the whole thing since day one. I mean, we've got everybody. We can have advertised to them and just cut them and dice them. But away from the commercial part, if you don't mind me bragging, I just love this part. Those people that are watching, let's say YouTube, where you can see it best. For example, if you go and YouTube's got a kind of obscure way to get to your top 500 cities. You actually got to export the file to make it over like 20. But if you export the file, it gives you all 500 from the very top global city that watches you down to the 500th. And it's just incredible, man. I mean,
there's your tour.
There were several African cities that I'd never heard of that had more viewers than Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which was on the list, where my kids go to school at LSU. It was just these weird things, like where did my hometown of Greensboro, where we have the Cosmic Summit, where does it fall? No, necessarily higher at all. And then the globalness of it is a reflection to me that our subjects are thin. They're thin. This is not basketball or sports. It's just only so many people can be interested in, hopefully more and more, but they're very wide, right? They're equally relevant to every human. all,
Oh, and it's also changing. The whole paradigm is changing.
yeah, absolutely.
And
And there's exciting content coming all the time. You got the whole
Yeah.
paradigm part of it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
evergreen.
And that makes it global.
Yeah.
That we do great relatively in Ethiopia as well as we do. And it's in the Asian nations and whatnot. So it's wild to think. And I kind of knew that early on, because when I did the Cosmic Tusk blog for still kind of post maybe 3 months or something, but I had 1,000 posts and I would get 50,000 views a month. And I always had a good thing that nobody with a large site would ever use, that show you every single hit, so you could navel gaze and see where people are and all that stuff. And right off the bat, it was like the UN. Same phenomena, that people were as likely relative per capita or whatever, if you look at it that way. There was never any, like, if it was like our subject was, Southern U.S. authors, or I don't know, gardening, in Alberta.
it's still spread out.
Well, no, I don't. I think it's more regional. I think some YouTube subjects have a lot of regionality to them, don't they? I mean, a lot. Yeah. And these things that we're talking about, and I consider a very clear overlay with y'all. I've been listening to you for 12 years. I do the politics too, but I keep my mouth shut on camera about politics. But I'm a hard right winger. I have no problem saying that. I mean, I worked for 2 of the most conservative U.S. senators in the United States for 6 years in the U.S. Senate, carrying their briefcase, and I drank the fucking Kool-Aid, brother. I mean, I know exactly how Washington works. I know exactly which part of which party's right, and it's the right of the right. With now that's said, So
the thing is that it's evergreen, so it's going to be there forever. I mean, the YouTube channel, give that,
very good
10
point.
years when you don't even have to be doing cosmic summits, and you've just got all this sort of this history channel that just keeps playing and keeps playing and keeps growing. The city data would be interesting to think about for going on tour. It's like, oh, well, we're huge in this city, we should do it.
Oh, absolutely. Fantasize about it. Sydney, Australia, man, is always in the top 3 cities. And it seems to outweigh its size, kind of dramatically. I wish I had it. If I knew we were going to have this conversation, I would have linked that thing. But
well, you mentioned. Can we get into the weeds a little bit about Adam? About some of the topics. Like you mentioned, you went to see Adam Young and you did that thing. Does that have anything to do with that post that you posted on your Cosmic Summit there? Wasn't there some kind of scientific retraction controversy over that with Adam Young? And then I also, just in regards to the vases, which is always changing as well, I saw somebody on Matt Beal the other day about how he ordered one of these vases from eBay or something for $50, and it was pretty precise. So I don't know. And it was apparently
I'm told to it. I mean,
so is there any update there on that stuff?
I think watching with Dr. Max there the other day with Matt is very valuable. But my problem is I didn't watch it. I heard the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm still unclear about some parts of it. So people that saw it, including y'all, may say, but the 3 classes of vases, I mean, didn't make me uncomfortable at all. I mean, it's just, there's some modern things that fall into that. So that means you got to give them a lathe. You got to give them a lathe. Nobody's popped up with a modern thing that didn't have a lathe. So you're never going to give that up and call it whatever it was. I'm sure he pinned him down 20%, 15% that are perfect. I don't care if it's a fraction of the form factor, and 15% of them have this unbelievable perfection. And then 85% of them are partially miraculous, or must have been a crude or amazing tool, or a less delft craftsman that didn't care to make it perfect, but used the same tool. Okay, so that's not a big give. Now, did we all get out ahead of ourselves? Every vase that, of course I did 1,000 times. I've said, oh, they're all perfect, assuming, which is a total assumption, when really fair. But it's a fun subject, and there's no downside of being wrong about it. So back to the Coffre Pyramid researchers that are coming to Greensboro and bringing the fucking receipts, man. I had interviewed them on my podcast, pretty popular one last week, most popular I've ever done, and had Filippo and Armando on there. And the only shortcoming to the technical part of the podcast is it was humming in his room, and I thought it was HVAC. And at some point, I need to go back and watch it and see if it was entered. I don't know how
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't really that bad.
Okay, yeah,
I
hold
watched
on.
the
But
whole- I watched
didn't
the
I
whole
say
thing
to
and-
him, "What's that sound?" And he said, "That's the computer's running."
Yeah, it's the computer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Well,
his-
see, that I just thought there's something cool about that. And what's going on there is he's back there run that data. Now they are perfectly free to go up to Switzerland to some technical conference and show the data, and that goes viral before the Cosmic Summit. But each day suggests to me, and just the communications we've had, and I wouldn't put them on the thing, that they're going to come and tell us what the hell that computer's spitting out. And God knows all the stuff that they didn't include in the clearly accidental, call it ham-handed, poorly formatted abstract obtained by Tever Grassi that goes viral, and everybody treats that. In our own community as well, they all treat it the same. In fact, there is no our community in this. That everybody's a skeptard and giving them shit about saying that their grand staircases, generally they'll overdo what they actually said. But yeah, that's right. It was accompanied the unofficial, "Hey, Trevor, you can have this." And I actually I kind of get Trevor Grassi in that he was being a little bit to that team as I was for many years to the Younger Dryas Boundary team, where you're the most enthusiastic person that's on the email chains. And I don't know how far Trevor, how much involved with, but maybe he gets on a paper if they publish it. I don't know. That would be like me getting to be on Younger Dryas papers. But they would give me things. And it's a little bit like me getting something early. I was more savvy than this because I used to work in the U.S. Senate, right? I know how to keep a secret. And Trevor puts it on there. He doesn't know it's going to go viral. I think it's fun to hear him say that. And then 6 million hits later in 2 hours or something. And then, of course, people all take shots at it and say these guys are ahead of their skis. Well, scientists, they're not good PR people. The ones you worry about are the ones that do have good PR people, like Avi Loeb. I know everybody's a fan of his, but that's a great example. You know, it's the guys that are out there that are actually doing radar tomography, have never done a damn press release in their life. Somehow in 30 years, Filippo Biondi, to my knowledge, has not authored any books about the pyramids. Armando has, and they're good ones. Okay. So he brought along somebody that has some opinions on, you know, deep Egyptian archaeology. And so like I said, this was a rant. And then our side, such that it be, I think I heard comments that I was just like, this is just mean girl shit, man.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it kind of was. I mean, I saw a bunch of people pushing it that were really making assumptions both ways. Really, I mean, people were just, you know.
Well, I've at least a half dozen times I've seen people who should know better say that they didn't compare it to modern structures.
But
when
they did.
harmonicsars.com, which is the third click, if you Google Dr. Filippo Biondi, that's with 2 P's, 1 L, will show up his webpage, which will show you at least 24 pictures of it being used on everything from oil to gas to concrete structures that have it's not perfect, but you can see it's kind of seeing something there. Which right there, if somebody said anything along those lines, and I'm not talking about commenters on YouTube, fuck those people. They don't have to do their homework. But who didn't get that they're doing that and then expect more. And a significant number of people might have been able to say for at least the last couple of weeks, they're coming to the Cosmic Summit. Maybe they'll show some more stuff. How about give them one more round of press?
Yeah.
Since the first round of press was a press conference, but they didn't think it was going to go global. Maybe they come now, and they have promised. They said it'll be, you know, very in-depth new information, and y'all will be in the room.
Yeah, it's hard when you're in the midst of all that to think about how it's going to be accepted by everybody if you don't lay out like, hey, we've used this technology for this, and here's the pictures of how we showed this underground facility in Europe or Switzerland or whatever. Now we're going to show you how, like, you could because you're getting caught up in it. You think people aren't going to question those basic sort of assumptions or something like that. You know,
but it's the audience that has audiences that needs to give them a fucking break.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Because this thing was viral. And you know, I needed to ask Filippo, and they're great to email with and talk with, but I've only spoke with them once on that podcast. But exactly what was the deal with the artist renderings? There's some in the 22 paper have a little bit similar feel, and then there are more in this one. And this isn't a paper; it's a poorly formatted abstract. I mean, some of the pages, like, they don't have the headers right and stuff. And this is something they gave to Trevor, and he happens to put it up, and everybody ties them to it. It's not signed Filippo and Armando, even, you know, or whatever. It just makes me mad. Okay. It looks to me, and I shouldn't say this because I don't know this, but I know scientists like this. It looks like the lady down the hall that likes to help them out at the University d'Italia or whatever said, well, let me use my CAD student and let's see what you think of this. What do you think it looked like? He says, well, have the pyramid, put this there. Best I see, I'm calling it a spiral thing that goes down, or a column thing. I'll get to people saying stuff about that the other day. And then, yeah, it looks like there's a spiral around it. So somebody draws that. And then the Skeptard's going, I don't think the Temple of Avanti is down there, you know, and all this. And they do bring some of that stuff up because they tie it to myth. I would in a paper. I like the papers that'll go ahead and say, oh, and by the way, and this wasn't even a paper, but by the way, this has been claimed for 3,000 years, right?
More than that. I mean,
the
Book of the Dead is one of the oldest documents in Egyptian mythology and history. And it talks about, like you said, a new civilization they found. I mean, the Book of the Dead talks about thousands of vases being found, right? They found, it's like they stumbled across this ancient culture that was there before. They talk about vases and 4 other articles or 3 other articles. So is that is that how he explained the rendering happened then?
No. That's what I said. I don't really know. But that's what scientists will do. Yeah. And then they'll just throw them in there and not say, okay, I'm opening my ass to a lot of unnecessary criticism. How could I present this more like these wave, you know, I mean, it's just, they probably shouldn't do an artist rendering when you get right down to it.
Right. Well,
but they didn't. The paper's yet to be published.
Right.
You know, this was like a PDF. That's a good way to call it.
Yeah. Was it in the Ethical Skeptic paper, Darren, before or after? Was it updated later on, do you think?
No, they know the whole thing better now, dude.
It was before, because I think the original scan was done quite a time before.
2022,
yeah, because Ethical Skeptic was talking about it, I want to say in 2023, maybe the fall. It was either
to the extent it got any attention, and all of us missed it.
Yeah, because there was that picture, that 3D rendering was in Ethical Skeptic's paper or PDF or whatever, his post or article.
I got a lot of takes on it, but so kid, let me chew through just a couple more. So I think holding them to the renderings is incorrect. As a basic matter, having worked with over 75 controversial PhDs closely over the last 30 years, because that's my gig, is controversial PhDs, and has been since long before I was charged for a ticket, right? And did it all for free, and you know, wrote checks to them too. That, what am I trying to say? They don't throw their careers in technical fields away lightly.
Yeah. Like that's what you kind
of. No one does.
Yeah, you're like, why
you
are you
would literally have to be kind of crazy to be. Filippo Biondi has 80 some published papers, and sometimes that's impressive, sometimes it's not. Depends on the content. It is impressive right off the bat. I only got 22, but he's got 80 some. And then you go look at them though. And of course, you don't know what the fuck he's talking about. You know, I mean, that stuff's just, you know, you can kind of pick, you know, we're all pretty good at that. You can tell what science he's talking about, but it's very dense technical stuff that is in legitimate journals. Okay, that's one they did after the 22 paper.
This is so this paper is from May 12th, 2024.
So a year ago, almost exactly a year ago.
Exactly a year ago, yeah.
Well,
And that's from
how did I miss? I mean, as any geek, how did I miss that? Hold on, I thought there was just a 2022 paper in remote sensing. Well,
Yeah, he's
okay.
he's
Well, good. Since I'm
comparing
running my
how-
mouth about this stuff every day, I think I need to read that.
This is a crazy paper. This is about exothermic and
But who is the author?
the ethical skeptic.
Well, who's that?
He, I don't even want to say the name that I
Well,
have.
is it Filippo or Armando?
No. This is a separate. It's an American.
This
guy.
is an American.
Oh, okay. Well, help me get the context because I got these two. I'm sitting here defending these two guys. I don't want them to have some kooky paper that I hadn't read or something, man.
Oh no, it won't be kooky from the ethical skeptic.
Yeah,
Okay,
we-
back
we
to Filippo.
found-
Of his 81 papers, there's nothing in there about aliens. And why in the hell would you, after a 30-year career in radar tomography, and that doesn't really capture it, in radar tomography, suddenly throw itself away to pull the wool? And then, okay, what's pulling the wool over people's eyes mean in this case? At one level would have to be, you'd have to go Photoshop those multicolored spectral lines that emerge from this supposed technology. I mean, no one's going to do that. That's like Hunter Biden's laptop. You're like, come on. I mean, people, it's whatever. It's just not going to happen. Okay. So then, if it's not that kind of fraud, then it's what? If it's not, you're saying they didn't have some collection of, I've been calling it, microseismically induced acoustics, X-band radar, SAR, which everybody gets that wrong. The first 3 weeks, it was all about how SAR can't look deeper than that. It's like, well, God, go read their first paper and not even their thing. They're obviously got 3 pieces to the sauce, and then criticize that if you want. But you got microseismically induced acoustics, as I call it. This other thing, which is fairly well known, but always been pretty cool, that probably could use some improvement, and going to get a little better or whatever. And then they put them together with AI and better chips. And this guy's a mathematical genius. And that's what Armando called him on our show. He looked over at his friend, and who knows, maybe they've just been collaborating a year or two, but in one way or another, I need to go see it. He said he's a genius. And just as I would say about Alan West in the Comet Research Group, he's a genius. He's, and other geniuses that know Alan frequently refer to him as the smartest person they've ever met. And I'm proud of that. But that's the Comet Research Group. So, yeah. You get some breakthrough people, and then okay. But this is kind of the end of my rant. I'll let y'all rant or do some more rant. The most important global security question on planet Earth, most of my adult life, has been, what the fuck are they doing under that mountain in Iran with the nuclear bombs? Okay, that's a big question, been around a long time. What's the configuration, contents, construction schedule, history, dimensions under Mount Nawaz or whatever it is in Iran and the other known underground nuclear facilities? I kind of figure we got that one figured out. I mean, if we have free energy and UFOs and all the other things that all of our other supposedly non-skeptical friends believe that we have, then I'm sure we can look through mountains. The U.S. government can. Okay. That's what my gut says. Okay. So that means there's a certain collection of instruments out there in the wild that someone is then taking data from and looking through that mountain. And eventually someone's going to come along, and because all that stuff exists, they're going to put that sauce together again, and it gets, call it, reinvented. Not to take anything away from Filippo, but it just, you put together what is not and then me and Jay Anderson agreed on this point, that to believe that remote sensing technology doesn't follow an improvement curve like other technologies. Now, a lot don't move along like they should, but anything associated with artificial intelligence seems to be moving along quite quickly lately. Now, Filippo could be lying about that. He could be doing some bullshit math that puts out a pretty graph. But until somebody goes and reads his entire to-come paper, because first of all, they haven't published on this, and goes and checks his math, because his math is all through that 22 paper. There's about a 15-page skip section. if you're flipping through it, there's just no way. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I mean, maybe Randall's good at math. I mean, is that stuff look legit? Yeah, it just doesn't smell. It does not smell one single bit like a fraud. At most, it's a misinterpretation. And to then not give the technology, not to give the humans first, the gentlemen, the time to come to the Cosmic Summit and see what they got to say without running around on podcasts throwing shade.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Can we hire him to find that $21 trillion underground city that they built apparently in the States?
We can, because we think it's cool, and we're very hopeful and look forward to seeing them in Greensboro and hearing more from them. And don't assume that there's something askance. A favorite one the other day was, he said, there's no circular archaeology in Egypt. I've been all over Egypt, and there are no columns. It's all square. Everything's square. Like if there's any hole in the ground. Osiris Shaft. I got a great little video. I've been in a fucking Osiris Shaft. It scared the shit out of me, man. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever done in my entire life, without question. And so I got a little feel for it. And that's right. It's square. And the other little places you look down into, that's right. They're square. Who cares, man? Maybe whatever's under the pyramid just looks through their radar shit right now. Maybe it turns out to be square. Maybe that's one of the things that radar tomographers, like the 4 people who know this shit, hadn't quite tuned in yet, but they're getting something's happening down there, unless they're photoshopping it.
Well, there's circular.
The caverns. That's where Randall went, which is fair enough. Maybe it's, yeah, I'm sorry.
Right in Dundera, there's circular columns all over in that temple. I mean, there's lots of temples. Maybe they're later. Maybe they're.
I guess they were talking about
later. Yeah, they're later. So you'd be thinking more about down and behind there and the Assyrian, stuff like that. But I don't think it's. Yeah, but anyway, we're trying to get the ethical skeptic and Randall on the show at the same time, but he's trying to get some government job in the new administration right now, so he doesn't want to.
Oh, you did send the link. Thanks, man. Hold on.
Yeah, I put it in the private.
I was about to ask you to. I want to open it before it disappears.
But this is there's some really captivating stuff in here.
I'll get AI to read it. Let me know what the fuck it says.
The catastrophic cycles, for sure.
Oh, it looks great, man. It's right up my alley.
It's really well thought out.
Is that the one with the pyramidal erosion? The pyramid erosion?
Yeah, this is the whole thing where he talks about the pyramids were underwater for a couple hundred years, and he thinks that the whole reason that pyramid.
Well, good on him. It's not a theory of absolutely fucking everything, is it?
No,
kind of looks like it. Okay.
But mainly that the pyramids only in there.
Not that I rule those people out. I'm just saying that's a different category.
The pyramid's only there to support the decoupling theory, because he says that each of those 2 shafts in the king's chamber point at different things depending on which. So the Earth just goes back and forth between 2 fucking cycles. There's one where it is now, and the other one it kind of twists a bit, and Antarctica ends up on the equator.
Is this like the guy that has all the temples pointing different 3 or 4 different places, and he can track them?
No, it's different than that, I think.
No, you know what I'm talking about?
It's
I always liked that guy's thing. Yeah, I always thought there was a lot to that. I forget it.
This would be more of a continuation of Hapgood's.
They got the Nubian egg. I got a bunch of stuff in here. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's all sort of to support this theory that the Earth goes back and forth between two rotation things because of the
crustal rotations, Darren. Flips.
Yeah, so if you look up at what happens is that the core of the Earth isn't perfectly round. It's a little obtuse, and it's got a lopside. And there's this Jabankov effect that the Russians found, that if you take like a wing nut and spin it in space. It doesn't just keep spinning; it just keeps spinning fine. But then, for some reason, every once in a while, it doesn't flip, and then it goes again. It does a flip exactly the same way back. So
that's kind of what Hapgood said and stuff. I mean, crustal displacement, but it looks like this guy's got a good treatment of it.
I think it's
Hapgood stuff is hard to discredit. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that they've found, and you start taking even the younger, driest stuff of that. Maybe all this water didn't come from ice sheets. Maybe some of that water came up over the mountains and shit like that, because basically the idea would be that like the Earth would fucking stop spinning for a second, but all the water keeps going.
Yeah. Well, and Matt Bell was talking about that the other day. He's interested in it, and it goes west to east.
Yeah,
good, man.
It would come west to east, which starts to show you how like that all that salt water got into Lake Bonneville, right? Like the theory right now is that it all sort of washed out of the mountains and everything. It's like, well, I don't know. That doesn't seem to be happening every place else. You know what I mean?
I've never been into the, and Salt Lake is the puddle left behind after the wave and all that. And, or the infill from the sea. And I believe in catastrophic floods. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Rocky Mountains were made in a long weekend. I bet you could have surfed from fucking California to Kansas. I mean, I believe in all that shit. I'm not sure when or whatever or exactly how it happened. So I don't mean to seem like a skeptic, but what am I saying? That the salt deposits. But I mean, maybe. I mean, when you have a mile or two of seawater and it all evaporates, does it really collect all down in the lowest part? Maybe, I guess so. I mean, the salt's got to go somewhere, but I don't know. It's kind of funny. I can believe all that stuff, and for some reason that one doesn't seem right to me.
That one. Yeah, this is basically the model there of the second state that the Earth slips into, which lines up with a bunch of stuff we talk about on the show, which is interesting, right? Why all these ancient cultures were obsessed with tracking the movements of the stars and what the fuck is going on in Antarctica. Because the interesting thing about the model is that in the second state, Antarctica would be, right in that spot of.
But Darren, one of my other things, and I'm a catastrophist, so like I say, everything's on the table. But I mean, if you start saying this is what caused the Younger Dryas event, for instance, I got to part ways, I suppose. For one, I'm a co-director of the Comet Research Group and on 20 published papers that say that it was, the Taurid meteor stream. So that's and I'm not that sure of that either. But
no,
where would you be on that? Because I know you probably, or is Comet Research Group passe, and now we've got to have, there's one guy that's got it right.
I don't think it has to be either or.
13. Well, do you think does he say the 13,000 year event? That's the way to pose it.
No, he doesn't have a time cycle on it.
Okay. I like that.
Like there's good evidence that this shit happens. He's kind of found some.
Yeah, there could be several cosmically catastrophic cycles. Just like the sun. Yeah. I'm more scared of the sun than I am comets, and I'm like a comet guy.
Yeah.
I'm much more scared of the sun. There's zero chance a fucking comet's going to fuck with us anytime soon. But man, we could have a bad day from,
Yeah, I think you're looking at just sort of there's a bunch of different things that can go wrong at any sort of given moment. The interesting thing about this one, though, is because I feel like the comets are always going to be more of a fucking catch you by surprise sort of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas there seems to be evidence that these cultures knew some shit was coming, right? I was just talking about this on the last show. People probably bitch, but it's like we've got these giant stone structures and stuff like that. Maybe there's just the remnants, but I still argue that the way that looks like a lot of them were still being worked on, and at the time they would have been putting these moais in Easter Island up at the top of the fucking tallest mountain in town, and it's like.
Well, unless that's sunk, right? Unless the isostatic depression sunk it so that we don't know what was at the top. I mean, it might have been, somewhere up there, but not at the top. Because
you could watch that whole chain of islands go across there that probably would have been exposed almost the whole way with less.
Hey, we got the mega tsunami expert coming to the Cosmic Summit.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Joanne Ballard.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, not Joanne. Who am I trying to say? Dallas Abbott. Excuse me. Dallas is coming.
Okay.
I mean, Joanne's an expert.
Timeline shit gets crazy all the time in ways that we just can't fucking comprehend.
Oh, I've read Ragnarok.
Yeah, we have it on audio now, George. I thought you might.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there you go.
No kidding, man. No, it was one of those fundamental books that I'm like,
right. It's pretty good. It was way better than I expected it to be.
I'm a big fan. And not thinking Ignatius Donnelly was just a damn badass, man. He's a damn politician. And
which one was better, that one or
Atlantis?
Atlantis.
I can't remember, but I have definitely. I mean, it's going back. 25 years ago. See, I've got my time in on this. And that's the other thing kind of bugs me these days is when I started this event, I was like, I went on a fair amount of podcasts starting about 2016 or 17 up to the day I started this event. Because like now my lane is to the extent that anybody knows who the fuck I am I'm like this pitch man, out waving around, go buy a ticket, right? And that's my role in these things. Well, no, damn it. I mean, I used to like have a thing, be a just regular old catastrophist that had some inside knowledge from these scientists, What's my point there?
Well, that'll learn you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
and now I'm like PT Barnum instead of
yeah. Well, let's talk about that a little bit then. Let's
about
give
what?
us picture summit. I mean, we're going to be there. I can share the screen here and you can pull up your website. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, I'm very proud of the website, which is always rare.
This is it. So here it is. I mean,
yeah, people just go check out the website. I'm not going to, sit here and talk for a few minutes about it and try to convince you what a great thing it is, but I think you can see, I hope you can, that we got a lot of stuff packed in this year, man. And we didn't like I said, lost money a couple of years. You could have gone the other way, of course, and said, okay, we're going to change this thing. But now we just upped the ante across the board. We got field trip, world. No, I keep saying that's really not true. They've shown it once in Spain, a U.S. premiere, exclusive U.S. premiere of Atlantica, a film made by Michael Donnellan. And you can go watch the trailer on YouTube, Atlantica, with there's a K, isn't it? But it's beautiful. There's I've seen the documentary and the end is astonishing. It's one of the best things in the whole Atlantis thing is with a C. I don't know why. It's great. So we're going to premiere that. We're going to have big parties in the biggest disco in the South. And we got some great VIP stuff. Very important. I got to learn to say these kind of like program note things. I mean, really, because it can screw things up. But we got $179 hotel rooms, which is pretty good at a Sheraton Four Seasons, as they call them, right? And you got to say that you're with the Cosmic Summit. Please remember to ask for the discount with the Cosmic Summit and make your hotel reservation as soon as you can, because that just helps me sleep at night, because I owe them 900 room nights, right? And every room night that you don't sell, you got to give them that 175 or 179. So it's like me going and, renting out, oh, how many nights you want at the Sheraton, Georgia? I have 225 in one lousy weekend. But it didn't, that went okay last year, but I'd rather have people make reservations for their hotel rooms. But those are the people that obviously would have bought. If you're not even to the point of getting a hotel room yet, go check out the different tickets. We got 3 general admission tickets and then 3 VIP tickets. And I mentioned earlier, but we have 6 meals, 2 breakfasts, 2 great lunches, and 2 killer dinners, and a big old Southern North Carolina barbecue. And as I've said many times, the hotel is privately owned by friends that I've known since we were all high school buddies. And it's the Coury's, Koury. And it's 4 sisters. And now their husbands help run this real estate empire. They're on 85. It's at the confluence of 4 different interstates. So it's the most logistically convenient place to drive to on the East Coast of the United States, where you don't get into a traffic jam at the end. Atlanta has a lot of highways too, but I don't want to go anywhere near Atlanta. Greensboro, anybody can drive to Greensboro in 8 hours on the East Coast. And so they've got a giant hotel there because it's logistically perfect. And it's the largest hotel in North Carolina. It's got 1,000 rooms and it's run by the guy. Okay, here's a good one. In your social circle, the whole point of the Cosmic Summit is it's kind of rare to have somebody out of all your bowling buddies or where the hell golf buddies or, to have anybody that gives a shit about these subjects if you're leading another normal life, which you should. And then it's kind of something you do with the internet or with your best buddies in the subjects like you two, right? And you don't go to see people. Well, in my social circles, my point is the guy that is most interested in all of this stuff happened to own a 1,000 room hotel. Kelly Harrell loves these subjects, man. He's a huge Randall fan. His wife, Kelly Corey Harrell, could not wait to see Randall. They listened to all of our podcasts, and they happened to be the people who can really help out. And believe me, having a hotelier that is way into your subject and has the largest private indoor room in North Carolina. The room we're in is 1 acre. Is, not in an arena, right? An indoor called a ball. I don't know. It's a Broadway stage and it's 1 acre. You could put 5,000 people in there. But we're shooting for 500 or 600. And if it hit that, we'll do it again and again and again and again. But if it's damn 395 or something like that, and I'm paying for those hotel rooms, it's going to be like the Younger Dryas period, a time of great trauma that finally broke.
Well, I know we've got a bunch of our listeners coming, so hopefully a few more.
I know you do. I don't mean to ticket shame people either, but bye now. And so we got Atlantica. We're going to have a bunch of free liquor because I got 10 cases of vodka left over from last year. Long story there. So everybody's got to drink vodka. Don't come unless you want to pay for it. And
are you doing the class? So you're doing the classroom thing again?
Yes. Thank you very much, Graham. Yeah, there are two kinds of tickets. Well, there are different kinds within each class. There are two classes of tickets. There's 2 days, Saturday and Friday night too. More of a social part, but you're paying for 27 speakers that are all going to have an hour or an hour and a half, one after another, starting at 8:30 and ending about 6. And of course, you'll have a served lunch and then a dinner, killer dinner, because again, it's a family-owned hotel, right? And they were just those kind of people. They're just not going to serve bad food, and they'll be there to make sure it's not bad. So there are 2 days, 27 speakers. And then on Monday, just like last year, we have a deeper dive day, and Graham's participating in that. And that takes the form of having 3 rooms, the 2 breakouts and the main stage, without any particular main stage bias or whatnot, where a certain subject set and a kind of a lead speaker will go at it for 3.5 hours in the morning. 3 of those in the morning, another 3.5 hours in the afternoon. I believe it's that long. And so Randall's got sacred geometry, and he's going to have, the little tools of sacred geometry. It's going to be hands-on. I mean, it's going to be classroom with Randall, right? And I've actually not done that. I've heard his lectures on sacred geometry. It changed my view on a lot of things, man. In Sedona, I always think sacred geometry was like a thing of Randall's, but I was his catastrophist buddy, right? And I always thought it sounded like math mixed with church or something. Oh God, I'm just not interested in that. And then I heard Randall talk about it out in Sedona, and I was like, holy shit, man, that's interesting. And then you got me Malcolm Bendall, and I took one of the deepest dives into sacred geometry in the history of man, traveled to India. God knows. I got to the bottom of it. And actually, I didn't get to the bottom of it. But Randall will come teach you why there is another set of math out there. Thank you for going to the page, and that's in the afternoon. That's right. Go back to the morning, if you will, Graham, and I'll try to walk us through quickly, which I can do better having seen it. So the Atlantis debate, the first one at the top, is what Graham's participating in, and it's one of those interesting questions that even within our own most overused phrase, going to think of something, our own subject sets. I don't want to say community. It's controversial where you call it. People, it's opinionated. I think it's here. I think it's there. That's an interesting thing. So what we're going to do is get people who think it's somewhere in a room with all of them might have an opinion. I mean, we know anybody that's signed up for any these kind of things has probably come across David Stig Hansen. Do y'all know that name?
Not off. Graham probably does. He's read all the books.
He's the guy that's gone out to Rishot 3 times alone.
I've seen some of his good videos.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he's not sponsored by Polaroid or anything.
Yeah.
Or no. This guy's like scraping together his lunch money, going to Mauritania, hiring planes, trains, automobiles until you go deep into the Sahara, and he takes good videos out there. And he's just an interesting damn guy. He's an explorer. So he's also part of our new thing, the Explorers Club, which is going to be a panel hosted by Nerdrotics, Gary Buechler.
Nice. That's
Right.
great.
I'm so, thank God, I got to be a better pitchman. It's a lot of components to this thing, and you forget the things mentioned.
the
That's a cool
Club-
new thing.
The
So
Explorers
Gary,
Club is part of the main, like the normal main stage lineup, or
yeah. It's just like instead of another speaker for an hour and a half.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a great idea. Yeah.
That's right. You bring on people, and the Explorers Club is made up of, people who go around, and the way I think of it, not necessarily strictly true, but with GoPros on their heads at some place that you want to go see and go walk around. It started with Ben. I mean, it was Ben's whole thing with the pyramids. You go walk around and just take video. Now, it's going to be edited, but you don't feel like you're watching a National Geographic. You're watching something cooler, which is some normal guy walking around and giving his take, maybe. And all of the people in the Explorers Club do that. I could tick them off, but let's tick off the Atlantis debate. And that's, Dan Richards, D. Dunker Dan, who everybody loves, man, came on the scene this year and knows how to really pick apart some of the critics' approaches to this. And Dr. Danny Hillman, and that might not ring a bell with people, but the subject will. That's the archaeologist behind Gadang Padang in Indonesia. And he's coming all the way from remote Indonesia to Greensboro, North Carolina, as an archaeologist to tell us what he's been studying there at that clear temple site for 20 years. Maybe he'll run into Filippo Biondi in Armanda. Wouldn't that be an interesting?
Yeah.
Why not? They got to go look at things up, from up there. Michael Donnellan, who is the intrepid producer and lead investigator in Atlantica, right? And he produced the film, but he's also leading dives, et cetera, and so forth. And he's a badass. And if ladies care, just seemed to me, he's like really good looking. He just looks like some fucking dude, You know what I mean? Just like, this guy's a badass. Even I can recognize that, And then you got David Stig Hansen, probably not as good looking, but quite a fella. And then you wrap it up with Grimerica's Grand Dunlop. It's going to make the whole panel, right?
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it'll be great. I can't.
And then we're going to split people up. We're going to split the room up kind of one way or another and get people in the audience. Say, what do you think? Coming in, what do you think? And maybe you guys ask some questions. Just see if we could get and obviously, debates. This will be the friendliest debate you've ever seen, but it'll be funny and fun. And then Ancient Egypt with Ben Van Kerkwijk and Yusuf Awan. And you can imagine what that's about. Lost technologies, misunderstanding the pyramids. Keep going, sir. Breakthrough technology with my guru in a lot of ways these days, like the guy that I listen to every word he says. I'm not listening to all his content, but I'm good friends with Bob. I've been to Switzerland with him. I know his wife and kids. We hung out in India for 10 days. I mean, I've gotten to the bottom, not to the bottom of Bob. Bob's my guru, man. That guy is fucking onto something. He's just a genius.
I think he's one of the most important people for this movement right now.
Thank you for agreeing with me. And I know you do, because you have paid attention to Bob from the beginning, Graham. You don't get people like that.
Yeah.
And he's a character, man. People don't know who he is, but he's the cold fusion guy.
And Ashton Forbes is going to play a bigger role this year. And Malcolm's not coming back with the.
Malcolm's not coming back. He didn't even contact me. It's not like we're on the outs. It's just that he sucked so much chi from my soul that it'll take like another 10 years to just have enough energy to re-engage with that.
Well, you should infuse yourself with some plasma. I mean, that would do it. That'll get your chi back. I mean,
there you go.
That's pretty good.
Among other things, he cost me my marriage, but let's continue. Okay, so Ashton Forbes, who's the coolest,
but he's been a busy guy too. I mean, I'm sure he's out there doing it, right? So
Malcolm,
yeah, I mean, he's been.
God, let's move on.
Yeah.
Ashton Forbes is the MH370 guy, man, who's just not let up on the orbs. around.
Oh no,
that
he's
plane.
gone further. He's gone
Oh,
further.
he's gone
than
much
that.
deeper than
I
that.
mean,
And he's got a huge following. Just go look him up, man. He's going to be there. I mean, those two may cause some arc of electricity to appear between them. Anything could happen. And then you got Sacred Geometry with Randall. That speaks for itself. Please go on. And you'll get a Randall branded compass. I was trying to think. And the Knights Templar, which, is the two top. Well, Tim Hogan is it's very hierarchical structures, those things. Like, who's the most knowledgeable Templar in the world.
He's the
Or
GM.
call it Mason.
GM, the Grand Master.
He's the man. I mean, he's supposed to carry on the tradition that goes all the way back to Atlantis, as he will tell you, and will tell you that afternoon.
Well, it's interesting because this is all like, it seems like they're prime. There's a bunch of these societies that are saying it's time to reveal stuff, right? It really is on almost every level, whether it's like UFOs or ancient technology and all that, or whether it's free energy. The secret society stuff, it's all coming out. It
is, man.
Revealing. It's an amazing.
Sometimes I wonder whether it's just me, like you get kind of. I know y'all feel that same feeling, but it's like, God knows, I'm kind of into these subjects, and they keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I saw the younger tries of that from all the way back to 1998 with Firestone and the original guy. Yeah. I mean, and then it got big a year later. I mean, 10 years later, and you could fill a minivan with us.
Yeah.
And that knew what we were talking about. And now it's millions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, Joe Rogan talks about it every fucking third show. And I remember it was some obscure term that I used as a password because no one knew what it was. A younger.
When I was in your classroom last year,
yeah,
all three lecturers had Hal Puthoff in their presentation somewhere.
He's been on
Rogan. I mean, basically disclose. I mean, he's it's all coming out now. I mean,
the fact that he's an immortal, lends some credibility that the man hasn't deteriorated like the rest of us do. Okay, and Jacques Vallée, you're right, him too. It's like, hold on, how are you in a movie as an adult man? They portray you in 77, and you still go on podcasts. Oh my God. Okay, and we'll wrap this part up, and I'll let your audience go. The YDIH story, which is close to my heart, obviously, and I'll be joining that panel, and that's with all PhDs. Mark is a stalled one right now, but we give him, he is definitely a scientist and an archaeologist, and myself, all people part of the Comet Research Group. So we're going to kind of go through what we know about this, which is one hell of a lot. I mean, and there are things there I want to ask some of those other people. And I've never been in a room with Gunther Kletschka. I've been on an email chain with the guy for 20 years.
Yeah,
I feel like I know Gunther. We call it, his name's Jen. I don't know why he has this strange nickname. Somehow they get G-I-N, Jen from Gunther. But I can't wait to meet the guy, man. He's coming all the way to Czechoslovakia. Okay, and then we're going to have a big jamming party after that. But Monday is a separate ticket. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, you could come just Monday if you wanted, right? But we'd like people to do both if they can afford it, and if they can, we're gonna have a big jamming party on Monday night. So I think we got through the highlights of that, guys, and I really appreciate y'all's support for this event. Carrying these subjects forth as we both tried to do now for more than a decade.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, man. Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate what you're doing. And use Grimerica code Grimerica25 for 10% off. And we'll get a tiny little splash in the money dish from that. So
that's exactly right.
Use that code. And we'll see you. We'll see you there. It's gonna be awesome.
Food, inexpensive hotel rooms, and people, you can sit around with somebody and they probably know what the black mat is. I mean, what are the odds of that? You don't see that in normal circles, but it's got a real good vibe to it, and y'all contributed to it each year. And we're going to do it again this year, bigger and better.
Looking forward to it. I'm going to fly to Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think Bill Loeb's listening. He's going to be pissed because I was going to go to Atlanta, but I couldn't get a direct flight. So I can get a direct flight to Tennessee, and then I'm going to drive over with.
Oh, that'll be a great drive. You ever driven like that part of the United States?
Never been. So I was like, man, that sounds like a pretty good drive. I heard a lot of good things about Tennessee. I've never been to Nashville. So
That's great, man. One of the parts of this is, people come in. We've had over 35 countries come in 2 years. I mean, that's a lot, and bring them this kind of strange place in the United States. But those people get to come in like Mark Young from Australia. This will be a second trip to North Carolina. And Gunther Kletschka, I got a feeling he's never been to Greensboro.
Yeah.
And then, but having them come and stay around afterwards or come early, which most of them are like Praveen. Well, Praveen's been back and forth the U.S. his whole damn life, but whatever. Other people, they'll come and then hang around, and some of them you've helped get over here for the first time.
Yeah. That's the special part about it, right? Is it's not just somebody coming in and they're leaving right after their lecture's done. I mean, they're hanging around, they kind of mingle, everybody's kind of mingling around. So it's more personal than just watching a professional lecture and you don't get to talk to the guy.
And I think when you have these weekends that have 6 to 8 speakers or something, I don't know, you can't, and had a whole bunch of people. I don't know if you've got 27 speakers and 500 people in 72 hours, there's plenty of time to meet Randall Carlson. I mean, without bugging him.
Yeah.
You can go get that picture. I mean, the speakers are cycling out of the audience constantly. Right. And that's pretty cool. Now, these aren't super famous people, but then we got all these featured guests, there are all sorts of other people. You can go on the website and look there, just interesting folks that'll be there. And they're all obviously sitting in the audience with you. So it's June 20th, and we're going to have a field trip up to Pilot Mountain. I'm going to say real quickly, because it's actually coming together, this pipe dream. We're going to take 2 buses up 45 miles away and go to a Monadnock, one of 2 on the East Coast of the U.S., and the other one doesn't even really look like one to me. But it's a gigantic granite dome that rises 1,900 feet out of the Piedmont, where it's little rolling hills, but all of a sudden there's this gigantic, twice the size of the tallest buildings in New York, plug of pure granite. And it's called Pilot Mountain. And as somebody who grew up right there in Greensboro, it was always, literally on the horizon. And as you went up our little skyscrapers in Greensboro, you could see Pilot Mountain. And went on school trips there. You never think there's anything cool about it. But then the older you get and you find out the Cherokee used to hike all the way out of the mountains, man. They lived way back in those mountains. They didn't live on the edge of North Carolina's mountains. And they would come all the way where you're going to do that drive from Tennessee through those mountains, get out of the mountains, walk another 45 miles just to do the corn festival at Pilot Mountain. And apocryphally, probably, you had to take your moccasins off 20 miles from it, that it was so sacred. And if you were a European explorer, say a Scott Walters type, long ago and unrecorded or whatnot, and then many recorded, you would walk into the East Coast of North America. You'd probably be in North Carolina, where the first colony was, for various reasons. And if you walked in, it'd be the first thing you saw. You wouldn't see the Appalachian Mountains yet. You wouldn't see the Rockies early, all that shit. You'd see this thing, right? So you knew the Indians revered it. And now we're going to try to re-revere it and go up there and get a lecture from Randall. And we're going to hear from some other special guests that are controversial.
When is that?
That's Friday night from 6 o'clock to roughly 9. And we're going to watch the sunset. Oh, and the kicker is it casts a perfect pyramidal shadow. A mountain, it looks like actually a little bit like a Mayan temple, and I won't bother you with a screen share now. We're at the end of the show, but go look up Pilot Mountain shadow and all that stuff. The guy that wrote a book is a vendor at the Cosmic Summit, become a good friend, and there's just a lot of weird things about that mountain, And we're going to go up there and see it on the solstice, right? The longest day of the year. Maybe there'll be a good vibe up there.
Yeah, it sounds great. Wow.
Particularly if somebody will sneak a 12-pack up there. That's one of the state parks. No, I don't want anybody bringing any booze.
Or some gummies,
Now there's an idea.
There's some Grimerica gummies over there.
I hope that doesn't violate any kind of state park rules to come in and already have 20 grams or whatever, 20 milligrams.
George, this has been great. Where can people get these tickets? Where can they find the blog? Is it all just Cosmic Summit?
Yeah, well, it's cosmicsummit.com. And then all of our social media is now conformed to @CosmicSummit. And like I say, there's fresh content every day. And now I'm starting to do these live streams. So roughly days I can, and even weird times when I'm going to try to around noon every day, get on at least until the summit and just run my mouth. I mean, so if anybody wants to hear me run my mouth, I'm going to be doing it. Yeah. Okay.
Is that part of the foxhole sort of theme or?
Nah, this is just me hitting that
Okay.
live button on Riverside, and it goes out to all the platforms. And because right now you got stuff to talk about. Hey, let me make one final point. If one of these speakers is right, vast swaths of the history you have been told is wrong.
Yeah. If
just one of them is. And there are about 27 different studies. It's not like they're all talking about the same thing. But that's pretty damn interesting weekend. Because several of those people are right. And if all of them are right, that's the smartest room in the world. That there's no university in the world that's going to get you closer to the truth if some of these general themes, much less the specifics, are all correct. Yeah.
Absolutely. Love it. Right on, buddy.
Well, okay, well, let's come hear the truth. Where the truth goes to party.
All right.
Okay, check our merch out too. Okay, over and out.
Okay, see ya.
Okay.
Ciao. And that was our chat with George Howard, Cosmic Summit 2025. I'm looking forward to getting down there. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, me too.
My first time doing a bunch of stuff. It'll be good to meet George. Good to see the gang again. So get your tickets. Come on down. Grimerica 25. We're going to have a time in like 6 weeks, I guess. About 6 weeks, almost exactly 6 weeks from today. So get on it. How does that work? Today, what day is it today?
I know. I was thinking the same thing. There's a countdown on the website. I'm like, is it really that close? Like I thought
it must be like
43 days. 43 days away.
And 6 weeks is what? 42. So it's 6 weeks from tomorrow?
Yeah, from tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, Friday? Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Anyway, check it out. CosmicSummit.com. Support us. Grimerica.ca/support. And if you want to come on one of our trips, of course, the contact@thecabin.com. If you want some gummies for the trip, GrimericaCBD.com. Adultbrain.ca for all those audio books and stuff like that. The books we're talking about, Ragnarok and Atlantis and all that good stuff. And GrimericaOutlawed.ca and the alist.ca for our Canadian stuff. Grimerica Outlawed for the non-Canadian taboo stuff. And Spamgram, GrammaticAmerica.com. Other than that, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. And we will see you next week.
Sweetheart.